use the diagram to the right to name the following. 4 collinear points. Well, they all have to be points on the same line. So H, N, K, and I. A line that contains point M. Well, here's point M. So there's a couple of ways that you can say it, but since we have this little scripted letter at the end, I'm going to say line P. You could say something like MN with the arrow on top of it, but that's a good way. The way I wrote it, line P, is a good way as well. A line that contains H and K. Well, here's H, here's K. If we notice at the end, we've got line R. Another name for line Q. So here's Q. That's what we've been using on parts B and C. But now we're going to use our notation, and I'm going to say JL with an arrow on top of it. You could have also said JK with an arrow on top of it, or KL with an arrow on top of it. You only had to write one answer, but I gave you 3 choices there. And finally, the intersections of lines P and R. Well, the intersections of lines P and R are going to be a point. So here's line P, here's line R, and they intersect at point N. If we look at example or problem number 2, this time we have a picture of a plane, and we want to answer the following. A line containing point F. Well, line J. Here's F, and there's the line. I just used that subscript at the end. Another name for line K. Well, here's line K, so we can pick 2 points on that line. For instance, BC. Again, here's line K, so this line right here contains that. BC has an arrow on top of it if you can't see that. A plane containing point A. Well, here's point A. In this corner of the plane, I see this letter M, so I'm going to say plane M. You can also name a plane with 3 non-collinear points. And speaking of non-collinear here, letter D says an example of 2 non-collinear points. Well, we can say A and F. That's not your only choice, but those are not collinear. The collinear points on here are the D, E, and F. Those are collinear. And finally, the intersection of plane M and line K. So plane M and line K seems to intersect at I'm going to say point E.